How long's the blackout going for?
Till 8 p.m.
Okay, so I have to wait till 8 basically?
You're welcome to hang out in the perimeter area.
Well, the thing is, I'm half Italian, half Colombian, so do I get a pass to get in there, or?
Well, this space is right now held for just black folks.
Oh, just black, okay,
Yeah.
so full black, you're saying?
If you have black ancestry, or if you have experienced oppression because you are black, then you can enter this space.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Where are we in our political discourse here in the United States? Well, we're in the phase where it's okay to discriminate against someone because of their skin color. Yes, that's literally where we are, as well as destroying history and art all throughout this country, including those depicting individuals that literally defeated the Confederacy and fought off many individual hate groups. Yes, the statues of Ulysses S. Grant are going down. Okay, but I am curious if they would allow Rachel Dolezal or Talcum X in. Whoever thought participation trophies would lead to all of this. All of which, by the way, is getting fully supported by the mainstream media that is spinning and twisting facts in order to push a narrative onto you, as well as the support of some of the largest multinational corporations out there that placate to you so you buy more of their slave goods. And of course, let's not forget the full support of many governments all across the country that are promoting protests while, of course, still shutting down businesses. So yeah, I'll be honest here, when it comes to renaming things, destroying history, art, supporting neoconservative warmongers like John Bolton, all the while blaming one race as fully responsible for all your problems, I'm sorry, but if those are the hallmarks of your movement, no thank you. I don't want any part of that, since of course it doesn't deal with the core issues that actually do affect us, that actually matter in our lives, which should hold government accountable, which should be seriously discussed and debated, but are not. And that's why in this video specifically, we will be talking about two very important stories. One very important one with a lot of implications from Canada, and another one about a very bad person that should be in jail but is running around free right now. All of that plus a lot more on this independent media organization that is here not because of the mainstream media or any multinational corporations propping us and supporting us. They're actually doing the quite opposite of that, but because of you and your support. And one way to very easily support us is by using an internet browser called Brave. It is a privacy crypto-backed service that rewards you, yes, you get rewarded with cryptocurrencies if you use this platform. By using our referral link, we get a small commission of these cryptocurrencies, which earn us and you rewards that you could transfer to real dollars. This is a service very similar to Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, and after using it, it's one of the best out there in my opinion. I like it a lot. I think you will too. It doesn't cost you anything to use it. It's a win-win for everyone. So yeah, check out the Brave browser with our referral link down below. If you use this for over a month, which means you're going to have to like it for over a month, I'm confident that you will. This, of course, benefits and sustains this independent media organization. So thank you, everyone, for doing that. Now, one of the biggest stories of the decade that has been significantly underplayed is, of course, the story about Jeffrey Epstein, where even still current to this day, many documentaries and media publications refuse to investigate the intelligence agency ties that this man had, while, of course, he was hurting thousands. We're talking about thousands of little children in ways that they could never heal from. Ever since after his mystery alleged suicide, which of course prevented him from speaking out in court before his court hearings, which he was very optimistic about, which would explain a lot of his connections that he had with many powerful individuals like Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, the Trumps, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein. Yes, this man was in the center of it all, with the help of the mainstream media that was writing gloating pieces about how great of an entrepreneur he was. In part, the mainstream media actually aided Epstein in his abuse of children, not only covering up his crimes, but promoting him. Local police departments looked the other way many times. He was tipped off before any raids that took place on his property. And one of the people in the center of this huge Hollywood government-connected extortion racket, which is believed to have been run by some intelligence agencies all along, one of the key people here is, of course, Ghislaine Maxwell, the daughter of Robert Maxwell, an individual who was connected to intelligence agencies, who also died mysteriously. But according to the many victims out there, it was Ghislaine Maxwell, the partner of Jeffrey Epstein, that was actually a person that was above Jeffrey Epstein. Again, this is according to some of the witnesses and victims in this case that pointed her as the main pimp. And after the mysterious end of Jeffrey Epstein, this person staged a very mysterious fake photo op that even had product placement in it paid for by some corporations. And after this mysterious photo signal was sent, this woman disappeared. She was nowhere to be found, leaving the world to ask, where was Ghislaine Maxwell? No one could find out, as of course she was escaping justice for all the accusations of the horrible crimes that she committed. And now, as reported by some media publications, she has been found hiding out in a luxurious Paris apartment not so far away from Jeffrey Epstein's old house, a wealthy part of the city with upmarket retail shops. That is where she is now, but according to many sources, she is changing locations every month to, quote, keep private investigators off her tail, and she is crashing at the house of trusted colleagues and contacts, or as they should have put it here, accomplices to a crime happening here. Now, the reason Ghislaine Maxwell is hiding out in France is because of the extradition laws in France, which protect her from, of course, any kind of legal recourse against her. Under French law, anyone born on French soil is safe from extradition to another country, regardless of the alleged crime. Now, this is huge. Now, this is very important because if you remember from the legal proceeding court cases that were happening with Epstein's estate, which Ghislaine wants a large portion of. Ghislaine is saying that Epstein owed her a lot of money, and she wants some of that money so it doesn't go to the victims. But this is important because previously, court rulings have decided that Ghislaine doesn't need to be at her own court hearings. Her lawyers said that they can't even find her current location, that they are communicating via email. But the one big question that should be asked throughout all of this is, when you have the strong arm of the law, when you have the intelligence agencies that could spy and track and have satellites and have drones and have the best capabilities to find out anything and everything on this planet, when you have those capabilities, you can't find Ghislaine Maxwell, but a newspaper can? And again, this is not an average person. If this was a regular Joe Schmo with the accusations against them, they would have been in jail with the key thrown away a long time ago. But we have to remember that Ghislaine is friends with the Clintons, is friends with a lot of inner circle elites, and also knows a lot of the secrets that Jeffrey Epstein knew, which ended up him being suicided. So is Ghislaine hiding from the federal authorities, from justice, or is she hiding from the individuals that she might believe took out her partner? Well, all of that is still very unclear. We don't know for sure because of the authorities not being able to contact her, but a newspaper being able to find her. I do believe one theory is stronger than the other. With that background of information, it doesn't, of course, prove it, but it suggests that that is the case. Again, Maxwell is wanted for questioning by the FBI, but for the time being, unless there is enough public pressure, it looks like she is evading any real judicial hearings from here. And again, this should all be a huge rotten egg on the face of federal authorities that have allowed these victims, thousands of children, from never getting justice. They still don't have it, and unless there's more public pressure, there never will be. And this is why this story is important. It matters, dives deep into the corruption of government, and it needs to be exposed with disinfectant, with light, with the truth of what the government is actually up to. And again, if there ever was a major protest movement in the streets that deserved all of its support, it is for many of the victims here that still have no justice. So yeah, until we have any accountability and clarity of all the government horrible actions with this case, it's best not to trust government. Another reason is they've historically do atrocious, horrible things. Again, if you look at history, if you read what governments have done all throughout our recorded human existence, if you look up what democide means, this is one of the biggest red pills that you could take. And with that, this is why it's important to be skeptical of government, especially with some of the latest news we're getting surrounding the Nova Scotia shooting. A major recent event in Canada that led to 22 people being killed, others injured, after what is believed to be a senseless attack by a madman. But there's very serious questions to the official story of what actually happened here that should have everyone concerned, since, of course, this is the event that is leading to major gun confiscation in Canada. Because of this event, honest, good citizens don't have the right to self-defense, and the government is going around disarming them because of this one particular event, where now we are finding out has the exact hallmarks of an undercover operation. And this is according to many police sources, and the fact that the shooter that's implicated in all of this, right before this horrific act, went to the bank and got $475,000 out of the bank. Now, I don't know about you, but if I go to the bank, I can't withdraw $10,000 without alarms sounding off inside of the frickin' bank. I don't know how this 50-year-old something dentist was able to go to the bank and literally withdraw close to $500,000 in cash right before a major horrific event. This man also had ties and associated with police officers from other police agencies, and according to many police sources, this withdrawal matched the method that the Royal Canadian Mounted Police use to send money to confidential informants. It's also important to note that during this heinous act, he was dressed in a police uniform and driving a replica police car. And according to many sources, the way that he got his money is the same exact way that the authorities in Canada conduct their business with undercover secret operations. Again, links to police officers, links to organized crimes, being seen with other police officers, getting the uniform, having the replica car. I mean, my goodness. Of course, you don't have a smoking gun here, but with just some of the circumstantial evidence presented here, especially with the fact that you as a citizen can't even take out $10,000 in your own bank, and this is the event that's leading to major gun confiscation. I mean, there's a lot of alarm bells that should be ringing right now, as well as a major investigation into what actually happened here. And before we get any legitimate answers from the authorities, which I highly doubt we will, because again, this has their fingerprints all over it. But until we get some legitimate answers, there's no reason to participate in their confiscation program. Since, of course, if this is a potentially undercover operation that hurt innocent people, if you have a government that is literally doing this to push more draconian laws on people, this is not the time to give away more of your rights to those same awful monsters that some people call politicians. Now, I know that might be hard for some people to believe. Again, no smoking gun. We just have some circumstantial evidence here, but it's especially worth considering when, again, not only when you look at history, but also when you look at current events and wars that are continuing to happen, when you see regimes that are continued to be propped up by your tax dollars that do the most god-awful, horrible things in this world. You look at American foreign policy, which predominantly has been matched by Canadian foreign policy, the Iraq War. Specifically here, politicians have caused immense human suffering, all for political gain, and to think that they can't do it against you is thinking naively. This is why I do what I do. This is why I cover the stories that I find most important. If you found these stories important, if they're something that you believe people should be aware of and a part of the discussion about, share this video with them, since of course our political discourse is absolutely insane and never deals with these legitimate problems that do affect us. Don't let them control the narrative. They're pushing the most idiotic, insane ideas onto you. YouTube is doing this as well, promoting the mainstream media trash that is pushing this larger divide and conquer agenda on you. And the best way to fight back against this utter insane lunacy is to speak up and to not be afraid to raise your voice. And that's why sharing this video is more important than ever for the few of you who do. This is why I am still here against all the odds. And it definitely hasn't been an easy road that I've been on. I definitely haven't chosen the easy route here, but I've chosen the one that allows me to sleep at night and to fulfill my life with work that I find important. And you're part of that. And because of that, I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.